Did you know? U.S. District Judge John James McConnell Jr. finds the Trump administration violated court order halting funding freeze, and he ordered the government to immediately restore frozen funding. U.S. District Judge John James McConnell handed down the order after the plaintiffs in the case, a coalition of 22 states, said the government had not restored funding in several programs despite his January Court 31 order, which is temporarily halting the wide-ranging Office of Management and Budget Directive that had caused chaos and confusion across the country. The states have presented evidence in this motion that the defendants in some cases have continued to improperly freeze federal funds and refuse to resume disbursement of appropriated federal funds, McConnell wrote, even though his order lifting the freeze had been clear and unambiguous. Justice Department lawyers argued in a court filing that they didn't believe the order covered some of the frozen funding, and that some of the funding at issue is under review to make sure it's appropriate. The defendants now plead that they are just trying to root out fraud. But the freezes in effect now were a result of the broad categorical order, not a specific finding of possible fraud, McConnell wrote. The broad categorical and sweeping freeze of federal funds is, as the court found, likely unconstitutional and has caused and continues to cause irreparable harm to a vast portion of this country. He said the pauses in funding violate the plain text of the temporary restraining order he issued on John 31, and ordered that funding be immediately restored for the duration of the time his TRO is in effect. The order is expected to remain in place until at least a hearing on a preliminary injunction later this month. In its filing last week asking the judge to take action, the coalition argued that jobs, lives, and the social fabric of life in the plaintiff states are at risk from the disruptions and uncertainty that have continued now a full week after entry of the order. The Justice Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. However, GOP lawmakers urged Trump to respect federal court rulings.